May I come in, sir?
आइए.
Good afternoon,
Sir,
sir.
Shubham.
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir.
Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
Your name has got two words, Shubham Satyam.
Yes, sir.
Which you think is more important?
Sir, both are equally important, sir.
But if you have to, if you are asked to retain only one, which one will
Sir.
you prefer?
Sir, I would choose Satyam because if we go for truth, the Shubh will automatically appear.
Achha, show is automatically there. Okay. This is your third attempt?
Yes, sir.
This is going to be a third attempt.
Yes, sir.
Could you qualify for interview anytime?
Yes, sir. Last year I appeared for interview.
And this will be your second interview.
Yes, sir.
And your main subject was last time also political science.
Yes, sir.
International relations and political science.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much did you get in the interview?
Sir, 160.
160.
Yes, sir.
And what about your written performance?
Sir, it was below par, so I could not qualify.
You could not get selected.
Yes, sir.
You qualified for the interview,
Yes, sir.
but final list you could not make it.
Yes.
This time you are confident?
Yes, sir.
You have prepared well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. Sir,
You are a mechanical engineer
Yes, sir.
and you are working as a programmer analyst.
Yes, sir.
You worked as a programmer
Yes.
analyst. What was your job profile?
Sir, I was mostly added to the database team. I had to manage the data of a client that was based in US.
Okay. In your order of preference, you have selected foreign service as third.
Yes.
So you want to be IAS or IPS?
Sir, I would prefer both IAS and IPS because it involves dealing with the public directly. So that is my personal preference first.
Okay. Not so much interested in foreign services.
Sir, it is on the second list, second preference.
Foreign services, it's
It's on third, but overall IAS and IPS because of public interaction.
Okay. Can you tell us about the economic crisis in Sri Lanka?
Yes, sir. Sir, the emergence of economic crisis in Sri Lanka is on the account of various factors. First was the Easter attacks that led to downfall in the footfall of tourists. Tourism contributes to a significant amount in Sri Lanka's GDP. Then there was focus on organic farming that led to significant public expenditure. And so thirdly, there is also the problem of debt that Sri Lanka is facing because of the loans they have taken from China. That has also led to the leasing of port, Hambantota port. So overall, these three factors are contributing to economic crisis right now.
Okay. And how is India helping Sri Lanka?
Sir, India has given them the line of credit, and recently we also contributed to signing of agreements on floating dock and then some helicopter, reconnaissance helicopter. So we are trying to help them with credit as of now. Sir.
Okay. So you left your job in 2018.
Yes, sir.
What have you been doing for last 3 or 4 years?
Sir, I've been preparing full-fledgedly for civil
You
service.
have been preparing full time.
Yes, sir.
And you have been staying in Delhi or
Yes, sir.
Aurangabad?
I've been staying in Delhi. Sir.
You have been staying in Delhi. In last 3 or 4 years that you have been in Delhi, what problems have you observed in Delhi? And let's say you are given an opportunity to solve them, what will you do?
Sir, firstly, I have seen the problem of traffic congestion in Delhi that leads to loss of productive time in government offices and as well as private sector. And so secondly, there is problem of stray dogs in my locality that needs to be tackled. And so thirdly, there is also a problem of pollution. So these three areas I would like to work upon if given a chance.
Okay. And what will be your strategy for tackling them?
Sir, about the first problem, there could be a mapping of different parking zones, and there could be staggered timings for offices. And sir, about the second point, the problem of stray dogs, we should coordinate with NGOs that work with animals and along with the municipalities to ensure that coordinated efforts are done to curb the menace of stray dogs that go that sometimes goes haywire. And sir, thirdly, about the pollution, the government is already doing a lot of efforts like smog tower, and then recently a statutory body was also constituted to ensure that efforts are coordinated along with the state governments. So apart from that, we could at the personal level prefer public transport and go for electric mobility. So these will help in solving the problems in the long run.
Okay. Shubham, why is there so much charm for IAS, IPS in Bihar, even in Uttar Pradesh? Why so many young people want to become IAS and IPS from these areas?
Sir, firstly, there is a factor of demand and supply mismatch. Both UP and Bihar have a huge population, and that leads to a lack of opportunities in proportionate to the population size. So gradually, they have a affinity for government services, which comes with a lot of prestige and career stability. So this is the prime reason. And secondly, these are also not industry well developed. So even in other sectors, there is lack of employment. So these two are factors that contribute to the emergence of these services as a primary option.
Okay. Recently, Center has suggested some changes in IAS cadre rules.
Yes.
Are you aware of this?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain them? And what is the problem of other states? Why are they opposing this?
Sir, the cadre rules have been changed and now the central government can ask for deputation of certain offices without the consultation of state government. So these changes are seen as an attack on federal structure. So some of the states have alleged that the diminishing role of states would lead to a lack of coordination among the services, because all India services officers are recruited by the central government, but they are in the immediate control of state government. So this is the issue, sir.
Okay. And why these changes were made? Yeah, why these changes has been proposed?
Sir, these changes have been proposed due to the lack of officers at the deputation level. So union government is facing shortages in different departments. So to ensure swift coordination with state governments and to ensure the departmental work is not affected, this is being done.
Okay. Don't you think that we should go for hiring more people rather than forcing people working in states to come and work in center?
Yes, sir. The government is also undertaking lateral entry provisions, and currently it is not being scaled up because there is a lack of enthusiasm from private sector people to join the services. But this is a good step, and over the years it will help, sir.
Okay.
So, Shubham, this Ukraine crisis has been good for Indian economy or bad for Indian economy?
Sir, in the immediate term, we see there have been a rise in exports, especially wheat and corn, because Ukraine was a supplier of these materials. But overall, due to the war, it will lead to economic slowdown, and that will affect our trade as well. So in the long run, it will affect us.
Well, you have studied political science and international relations. Yes. A very interesting and a bit complex situation. We have found that US does not like that India is importing crude from Russia, of course at cheaper rates. But US cannot stop its friend Germany, which is taking huge amount of gas from Russia.
Yes.
How do you explain that? If, as a diplomat of India, you have to say to this US, sir, this is what you are doing, and you are telling us, tell us in polite and diplomatic words, what would you say?
Sir, in an international arena, the national interests are the prime interest, and it is best for any country to not being in any kind of alliance, because then it restricts our options to undertake in such difficult situations. So if we are flexible in our approach, then it will be better suit us and suit our national interest goals. So I would convey this message to US foreign policy.
Well, you are from Aurangabad, Bihar, and I think you must have heard in your childhood days or youth days a term called Naxalism.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell us economic reasons of Naxalism?
Sir, the primary reason is due to the land reforms that were not implemented properly in certain states. Mm-hmm. However, in my state, there was another factor of caste discrimination that led to increased amount of uptake of certain communities from our district into the left-wing extremism areas. So basically, this is a problem of governance deficit that is happening, and that leads to alienation of people from democratic processes, and they choose to opt for violence.
Have you heard of a term called Manrega?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Sir, it is a assured guarantee of 100 days of labor that involves manual work mostly in rural areas.
When Modi ji was not Prime Minister, he used to say that it gadde khodne wala kaam hai, bekar wala kaam hai, lekin, but still, it continued.
Yes, sir.
And the reason for that, जो PM Modi before he became PM was saying बेकार वाला काम है, लेकिन फिर भी ये चल क्यों रहा है अब तक? What's the reason behind that?
Sir, in my opinion, there has been a rebranding of the way MG Narega has been implemented. Now the MG Narega labor force is being used to undertake public asset creations, especially wells in such areas, and then public toilets. So these are contributing to creation of assets. So there is a kind of dignity being associated with the work they are doing now.
Last of my questions, that LIC is an organization you must be aware of.
Yes.
Shares of LIC are being offered to general public. That is called disinvestment.
Yes.
So there are two types of statement. One is that is like sale of family silver.
Yes.
And other is that, no, this is not sale of family silver. Rather, that is a way to improve the functioning and efficiency of the organization.
Yes.
These are two extreme statements. Where you stand?
Sir, my stand is that it is being done to improve the efficiency of PSUs, or for that matter LIC, because listing of LIC has led to evaluation of its value and proper price discovery of different assets. So basically this will also lead to participation of private sector players that would further lead to deepening and widening of our insurance market. So these will in turn help in a good spillover effects.
So Satyam, you have spent your childhood in Bihar.
Yes, sir.
You must have seen the backwardness of Bihar.
Yes, sir.
You believe that Bihar is a backward state?
Sir,
Backward in which sense you understand?
so backward in the sense that we have poor human development indicators. So,
What might be the reasons?
sir, firstly, there is a lack of education and health infrastructure that overall leads to negative productivity, slowdown in the way productive functions are organized in the state. Answer, yes.
Caste system may also contribute to it.
Yes, sir.
How?
Sir, caste system in Bihar is due to mostly the historical legacy, and then later because of the policies of British government. And over in the years of independence, it has contributed because regionalization of politics has led to emergence of caste.
How
as a
British are supposed to be responsible for it? Did they create one Vyavastha?
Sir, because there was not a favorable environment to undertake social reforms back then. So if social reforms were undertaken much later year, in earlier years, then conditions would have improved now.
But they introduced universal education. One Vyavastha negated, denied opportunity to the downtrodden, to the Dalits or the Shudra. British, they introduced the universal education system. So how did they contribute to?
Sir, the education system they introduced was on a limited scale. It did not percolate down to the masses. So it was mostly to create a class of employees that would serve them in the administration. So,
But that class of society, they comprised of all segments. They were Brahmins, they were Kshatriyas, Shudras, everybody was exposed to that educational opportunities.
yes, sir, the opportunities were open to all. However, the society was not fair for some of the castes, so they could not take up those opportunities.
If you become a bureaucrat in Bihar,
Yes.
what will be your priorities to combat this limitation? The so-called backwardness of Bihar,
Yes.
what will be your strategy to combat with it?
Sir, my strategy would be to focus on education. If we cultivate rational mindset in our people, then they would understand the value of humanism and they would
But
not.
unfortunately, education in Bihar has encouraged casteism. In the University of Patna,
Yes.
the Students' Union elections are fought on the lines of caste.
Yes, sir. The politics of Bihar at all levels is being done on caste, and that needs to be.
Just expanding education, how will it help you combat this menace?
Sir, currently we are mostly focusing on enrollment rate, but we are not
We are focusing on
enrollment rate in schools and colleges.
Okay.
However, that is not the criteria to judge, in my opinion. We should focus on the quality of education. So if quality comes to colleges and schools, then we will be able to remove it. Sir.
quality will remove caste barriers.
Sir, over a period of time, it will, sir.
You are sure? Because the best institutions in Bihar, they are divided in caste lines. The teachers' unions are divided in caste lines. the students' union elections are fought on Patna University. Was supposed to be the Patna college was supposed to be the best in Bihar,
Yes, sir.
but caste always played very important role there.
Yes, sir. Apart from education, we also need to work at the society level for sensitization of masses. So, if we adopt multi-pronged approach, sir, then it will come.
Okay. In Karnataka, there had been very disturbing things happening.
Yes, sir.
Certain girls were denied entry in the colleges because they did not comply with the school uniform. Recently, certain mandirs are denying the Muslims opening their shops there. So what is your take on these developments?
Sir, these developments reflect emergence of fault lines in our society. So we need to sort out the differences. For example, in the case of hijab row, the Karnataka High Court ruled that it is not a part of essential practice. So the schools laws on uniforms, regulations on uniforms should be
So
adhered.
if the girls refuse to put off hijab, they should be denied entry in the schools?
Sir, as far as schools premises is concerned, there are certain regulations that need to be followed.
They
However,
should be denied entry in schools.
sir, as per the Honorable Karnataka High Court ruling,
Then what will happen to your right to education? There is a constitutional amendment.
yes, sir.
The right to education is inferior to this school uniform system.
And no, sir, they both are concurrent. But we need to sensitize the communities about the importance of education alongside maintaining the faith, because they are not being denied in a blatant manner. They are allowed to wear hijab outside the school premises.
And what about Muslims not allowed to open their shops in mandirs, mandir complexes?
Sir, it is a serious issue and culprit needs to be apprehended, because right to profession is a fundamental right and nobody should be discouraged to.
The right to education is also a fundamental right.
Yes.
At one place you don't defend the right enshrined in the constitution. The other place you support this right.
Sir, in school, the primary purpose is delivering of education. So a kind of uniformity would lead to having a conducive environment wherein people will interact properly. If the fault lines are emerged within the classes, then it would not be conducive for teachers as well to maintain discipline in the class. So it's a kind of a safeguard that we are having, and it would be serving the best interest of both the communities.
Okay, please.